kind of went over what Door County Reads is, went over the book that you're going to be celebrating. Why should a community participate in this?
It's a great activity for the Door County community this time of the year. You know, you always think of January and February as kind of being the quiet time. It's sort of a time for us to reconnect as a local community. I think in the summer sometimes we get so busy with all the things we have going on in a tourist-based economy like this. So in a way, it's kind of a time to get together and reconnect as a local community. It's a time to slow down, a time where people may have time to start reading again and read some great books. It's a book that a lot of the book clubs in the area choose to do. They kind of wait for our selection to come out, and we have a lot of excitement. We give away about 500 books each year. The Friends of Door County sponsors that, and this year they were all gone in the first couple weeks. So I do think people are excited about it and do become involved in it. It's kind of fun to talk about, to have a lot of people in the community talking about the same book.
Okay, and how is this different than your average book club? You kind of mentioned that this is a book that a lot of book clubs do. What's going to be the cool thing about having what seems to be almost a county-wide book club at this point?
Right. I think the cool thing is so many people are reading it, so you get more input than your book group, or even just the people you normally talk about, the books you've read and who likes what and what you should read next. It's a community-wide event, so there's so many people. You get different opinions on the book, great book discussions. Each of the local libraries generally has a book discussion based on this book. We have some films you can come and watch, and we have people who kind of come and analyze the films for you. So, and Peninsula, we've got a couple of theater events going on. So in a way, it's like a book discussion, but on a much larger level, and there's a lot of different outside activities that are planned for you that you can be involved in. So it's not just your one evening of talking about the book, but it's kind of a month-long series of events where you can talk about the book.
How long do you plan this ahead of time, and how hard was it to find activities to be paired with this book?
It's fun. We have a lot of fun planning this event, and usually we, funny enough, start talking about the next year's one while we're finishing up the planning for this year's. There's a committee of us at the library that get together, and the hardest part really is choosing the book. Because we choose a book we hope appeals to a large number of people in the community, but we also have to look at other things, like are there large print versions of the book available? Are there paperback versions of the book available for us for the friends to purchase so we can give out to the community? So there are a number of things that go into choosing the book. But it always seems that once the book is chosen, the ideas for events and programs really come quickly, and we almost have more ideas than we can sponsor. And a lot of that is due to the great community we live in. There's so many resources up here, and so many resource people, and so many people in the community willing to partner with us. So it's been a lot of fun, and yes, it is a lot of work, but it's fun work.
Easier or harder to think of the activities this year compared to the 5 to 8 years that you've been doing this? I
would say easier this year, and part of it is, of course, once we knew we had the author coming, that was pretty exciting. So that's a big event, and as I said, this year it's a book that appeals to so many people, and it takes place in the 1960s, early 1960s. So it's also a generation that a lot of people remember, and that's been fun.
Okay, and just for the video, so I'm going to pause just for a second. Can you talk about the book?
Yes, the book is, without giving a lot away, I will say the book is kind of a cross between a mystery and a general fiction book. It is a book about Grace, and it follows the family of a Methodist minister in Minnesota, in a small town. And the book is written from the perspective of the 14-year-old son, but he writes it 40 years later. So it's a look back at his life during an eventful year when he was probably about 14 or 15 years old. So it is in many ways a coming-of-age story, and a story about grace.
All right. Anything else that we need that our readers and listeners should know about Door County Reads this year?
listen to your radio, check out your local library. If you go to www.doorcountyreads.org or stop in at your library and pick up a calendar, there's a lot of events going on, more than I can talk about in this short period of time. And, some at different libraries, some up north, some here in Sturgeon Bay. So, get involved and take a look at what's out there to offer.